So hello everybody, my name is Cumming and I am the founder and president of Dyslexic Together. So thank you for coming today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story. I'm going to talk a little bit about dyslexia, and I'm going to show you some tools, and then we're going to have a question and answer at the end. So 4 years ago, I was surfing the web. I typed in, "I can't read, write, or spell" in Google. And I started flipping through the pages, and this simulation came up. And I saw that the letters and the words were moving back and forth. Underneath it was this caption that said, a friend of mine described what it was like to be dyslexic. Well, I didn't even know what the word dyslexic meant. So I looked that up, and the definition is something like a person who has difficulty reading, writing, and spelling. So all of a sudden I realized that that was who I was. And I started to get a little upset because I had spent my whole life believing that I was born stupid, that I actually had a condition called dyslexia. Now, because I didn't know I was dyslexic, I don't want to tell you that I can't read or that I can't write or even spell. Because right off the bat, you'll have a pre-notion that, well, maybe he's not very smart. So I never would tell anybody. I would just go to work. I had bills to pay. I had, house to pay for. I had kids to take care of. And I wanted to keep my job. So I never would say anything. So then I started looking up resources, trying to find information on dyslexia. And I found a bunch of information for kids and children and schools, but almost nothing for adults. So my thought was, there's got to be other people out there other than myself. So I start thinking, well, maybe the best thing for me to do is to start a nonprofit. Because what I wanted to do was to get information and get as much resources as I can, so that people like myself who didn't even know they were dyslexic could access it through a portal. So that's how Dyslexic Together started. So one of the most common types of dyslexia is called phonological. Up on the screen, I have a non-dyslexic and a dyslexic brain. In my hand, I have a spark plug. It takes 20,000 volts to bridge that gap. Our brains are filled with all these electrical connections called neurons. And they're the roads and highways of our brain. Well, as we learn, they connect. Well, the left side of the brain is for academics. Well, they don't connect on my side of the brain, for the academic side, for reading and writing. So what happens is, it takes a different path. So it uses the right side of the brain. So I can still read, I can still write, I can still spell, but it's at a very low level. So let's put it this way. Before there was GPSs, I'd go out on a road with my wife. And she'd say, "Where are you going?" And I'd say, "Well, taking a long way home." That's the way it is when I'm trying to read and write. It takes a different path to get there. So, in my hand I have a filed spark plug. It still works, but not very good. This is sort of like that car that you hear going down the street, and it's backfiring. It's making all sorts of noise on the tractor, and you go, there's a problem with that. Someone needs to fix it. Well, that's the left side of my brain. Only one spot is when it comes in. So I'm really only running on one cylinder on the left side, instead of 3 cylinders, like everybody else. But the right side of my brain is mechanical, artistic, problem solving. It's like turbocharged, fuel injected, like a brand new spark plug. That's the right side of my brain. So let's take phonological trouble. This is what you see when you read. This is what I see when I read. Missing letters, missing words. So I'll read a sentence, I'll come to the end, and I'll say, that didn't make any sense at all. I know that this didn't make sense to me, so I reread it automatically, just 2-3 times until I get the meaning of the sentence. Well, this doesn't happen once a month, or once a week, or once a day. It happens every single time I read. So I've been a mechanic my whole life. I've repaired and run machinery. And I brought a toolbox with me. Brought some tools with me. Let's see what I got. So I got a wrench and a bolt, right tool for the right job. Simple. Another bolt, Phillips head screwdriver. Right tool. Right tool for the right job. And a flathead screwdriver. You know, you can use multiple tools to get the same job done. See what else I got. My smartphone. So the smartphone changed my life. Changed my life because it spells for me, it writes for me, it reads for me. I'm going to show you a couple tools that have helped me out. So I was visiting the Verizon store back November. So this young kid, early 20s, was helping me out at the counter. And I said to him, do you know how to text with the phone? I said, I've heard that it'll automatically text for you. And he said, yes, it's right there. I said, right there. He said, yeah. He says, it's that little microphone. He says, but it's not that microphone. He says, once you hit the box, there's a second microphone that shows up. He goes, it's a solid one. If you tap on that one, it will actually type everything for you. So I just tap on it, say, hi Pam, we have a meeting today. Hit it again, and it just texted for me, spelled everything for me. The biggest issue that I have is the spelling. Can't spell. Then I just send it. So that was a game changer for me. The second one, and I can help if anybody needs that to be described, we're going to go over it. This is, by the way, I'm using an Android. We're going to also go over the iPhone too. So the next one was the microphone that has the outline. So the outline, when you hold it, timer starts over here, and it'll start to record, which is, when you're speaking. But once you let it go, it automatically sends it. So Pam's gonna get it without you making any corrections. For me, I like to see what I just typed, just to make corrections, in case I miss something. So if you're holding the microphone and you decide while you're speaking, well, maybe I didn't like that message, you can swipe back and it just eliminates it right away. So it doesn't send it. So those are just two for text to speech. Next we have that's speech to text, I'm sorry. Next we have text to speech. So the other feature that this has, and I'm going to show you how that works, is it'll read the page for me. All I have to do is, and I'm going to show you how to download that. As soon as I hit the play button, it'll read this whole page for me, and it'll stop at the end. And you can stop at any place. You can forward it and reverse it. So this is, I really like this feature. So the way you set this up is you go to settings, and then you go to accessibility. When you get to accessibility, I think you can go to the next slide. You'll see accessibility. You click on accessibility, and then there's two different speaking tabs. I'm going to talk about this one first, which is the select to speak. That's the one that I just showed you. Once you click on that and say, yes, you want it, the little person shows up. Then it'll be at the bottom, just like that. Every time you want it to read for you, you just hit it, and it'll start reading. It'll read for you, and then you can stop it and forward and back. Can we back it up one here? Okay, yeah, let's back it up one. The other one more. Yeah. So the other feature that the phone have is this talkback feature. Now this talkback feature is for somebody who is blind or really hard of seeing. When you allow this, it will read the page without you starting it. So it's very difficult to back out once it starts to read, where this feature, you can start it and stop it at any time. But it's a great feature if you're blind and you want to, or really hard of seeing, and you want to just automatically read your page. You just click on it, it'll start reading everything for you. So you don't even have to, activate it. It just activates itself. So I prefer the other one. I prefer the speech to text one because I can control it. That's what I like about that. So next, and I have, so all of this information as far as the phone goes, I have a flyer that you can also refer to when you're leaving. So I have that flyer in the back too. So Pam's gonna come up and she's gonna explain the iPhone to you. Thanks, Pam.
Bring mine up as a prop as well. So much like Scott's, you're also going to have a microphone on, as you can see, down at the bottom. And I can either talk into that and it's going to send the text, or you have the other option to so you talk into it and then you hit the keyboard, and then that should be all set, and then you can advance.
One more?
Yeah. And then to set that up, you would go, and we can help you guys with this, go into the settings, accessibility, spoken content, and then speak selection. And then when you want it to read to you, so what I'll do is I'll hover over the text, you basically kind of select it, and then there is an option once you've set it up under settings, accessibility, spoken content, speak selection, and what it's going to do is it's going to then read the text to you. So much like Scott had said with the Android, it's going to do the same thing. I think that should be, yeah.
Thanks, Pam. I'm going to activate mine right now. Well, you guys did hear that. That's right, I did activate it. So it's a great feature, you know, especially somebody who can't spell or, you know, pronounce words. You know, automatically what I'll do is just the other day I was texting something because it was simple, and all of a sudden I got a word that I didn't know how to spell, and I just hit that feature to speak into. It wrote the word, and it also will do punctuation. So it's not perfect, but it does do punctuation. So I've put commas in and periods. It does recognize that. So it takes a little bit of practice, but overall it's a great feature. Okay. So next, I'm going to talk about audiobooks. Again, back in November, I walked into the library, and one of the librarians was Kyle. And I mentioned to him that I tried to download audiobooks, and he said, I can help you. I mean, I'd known about it for 10 years, but never was able to get it to work. So I'm going to, so one of the first books that I downloaded was this book right here, Dyslexic Advantage. I liked the information so much that I went out and actually bought the book. And I was like, there's so much great information, I want to be able to have that information for me. So there's one specific paragraph in here that really struck me. So I'm going to read a little bit of this paragraph for you. So Dr. Fred Epstein showed a sustained interest only in mechanical activities, etc., etc. All 12 of the medical schools that he applied rejected him, etc., etc. So you guys didn't really think I was going to read that, did you? So Pam, so that you can understand what it is, this is the paragraph. She's going to read it for you. So thanks, Pam.
When he was young, pioneering neurosurgeon Dr. Fred Epstein showed a sustained interest only in mechanical activities, like building elaborate model airplanes. Because of his dyslexia, Epstein barely made it through college and was initially rejected by all 12 of the medical schools to which he applied. However, as an adult, Epstein developed many new and highly innovative surgical techniques for treating previously inoperable spinal cord tumors, techniques that saved literally thousands of children's lives. It is important to realize that when Epstein was devising these techniques, he wasn't using skills he picked up in some classroom, but the skills he developed at his workbench in the garage building model airplanes. To identify our next generation of talented engineers, inventors, and physicists, we shouldn't be using pencil and paper talent searches or seeing who's fastest at the Mad Math Minutes. We should be searching for spatial prodigies in Lego stores and hobby shops. Just like athletic scouts hang around ball fields, many of our next generation's great material reasoners are currently struggling in school while their talents are going unrecognized, and we owe it to them to pay closer attention to the ways that they typically develop.
Thanks, Pam. So I'm looking for this person. This person is in a factory somewhere or pushing a broom, making minimum wage or low wagers. Society has tagged them as stupid. And they're going home in their basement and they're creating something that'll change our life. And I'm going to help them, show them that they're not alone. That's the one thing that I felt when I was working or didn't know I was dyslexic, is I felt I was alone. I didn't know there was anybody else out there. So this person I'm looking for, because they're developing something that could definitely change our lives. Okay, so I now have a presentation from Kyle. He was kind enough to show us how to download audiobooks. So,
Ready?
yep. So, here we go.
Hello everyone, I am Kyle Costin. I'm a library aide here at the Randall Library, and today I'm going to show you how to reserve and take out audiobooks using Libby. Libby is our online client for reserving audiobooks and ebooks, and it is available on the Google App Store, on the iPhone App Store, and you can also get it on your laptop. So when you first install and sign into Libby, this is the screen you're going to see. It's going to ask you if you have a library card, which if you met with us before this event, you should have. So you're going to click the yes box or poke the yes box with your finger. Then it's going to ask you what library you are. So you'll hit this second option here for search for a library. So Stowe is part of the Minuteman network. So we're not actually in here as our own library. So you want to go into the search bar and type Minuteman. And by the time you finish typing that out, this little box will come up, and this is our library network. This is how you're going to be able to access all of our stuff. So you'll go ahead and hit that box, and then you will come to a screen like this. And then you're going to go ahead and hit this box again to confirm that you are a Minuteman Library patron. And there you are. You are going to have to sign in. So to sign in, your username / card number is going to be the barcode, the number under the barcode on the back of your library card. So you'll put that into this box here. And then your password, if you haven't changed it, should be the last 4 numbers of your barcode. So you'll take that and you'll put that in the password box here. And then you are signed in. So this is the landing page for Libby. This is what it looks like when you first get in there. We're going to search for a book. So we're going to go to the bottom of the screen and we're going to tap the little magnifying glass right here. And that'll bring you to a screen that looks like this. So we're going to go up here and we're going to search. So Wheel of Time is on Amazon right now. It's a great show, and you might want to check out those books. So we will type in the author of that book's name, Robert Jordan, last name first, so Jordan, Robert, and this is what we get. So you can see there's a mix of things here. There's books. It tells us what part in the series it is. It tells us we can read a sample, place holds. But we want audiobooks. So we're going to go to the top here, this little plus sign next to preferences. We're going to hit that plus sign, and it's going to ask us for our preferences. So we're going to go to format, and then we're going to change it to audiobooks, the third one down. Now it looks something like this. So these are all audiobooks. It tells us how long they are. It tells us what part of the series they are. It gives us a little picture. We want the first one, so we're going to go to Eye of the World right here, and we're going to tab that. And we're going to, because it's not available, but we still want it, we're going to place a hold on it. So we're going to press place hold, and that'll bring us to a screen like this. It's going to ask us if we're sure. And so we'll hit this big pink button, and it also tells us how many copies there are, how many people want it, how long it's going to take for us to get it. So we'll hit place hold, and we are told now if we want to get notifications when it comes in, we've placed the hold on that book. But what if we want to find a book that we know is available, or we want one that we can read right now? Well, there's a couple things we can do. We can change our preferences to audiobooks right here when we go back to the search menu, and that'll make sure that we only see audiobooks. But we can also hit this button, available now, and that'll only show us things that are currently available. Now, I've been watching Poldark on Amazon Prime, and I think maybe I want to check out those books on audiobook. So, again, we are going to go to the search bar, and I'm going to type in Poldark. I don't know the writer, but luckily, it shows me the series right here. So I'll hit that, and it shows me all the available audiobooks. Now, before I took this screenshot, already took out Ross Poldark, the first book in the series. So this area is where you would hit, as you can see on this one, is where you would hit to borrow it. But once you've already borrowed it, you can hit this to open it. So again, there's a big pink button, hit to borrow. And now we're going to go back to our home page. And you can see that the home page, which is that bottom middle button right there, is changed based on things that we've taken out and things that we've looked up. So it's showing us a lot of audio, it's showing us popular audiobooks, it's showing us always available things, it's learning what we like, and it's showing us more of what we want. And so we're going to go to our shelf. So the shelf is where everything you have on hold or everything you've taken out is. And it's this bottom button that looks kind of like a stack of books. You're going to tap that, and it'll show us what we have. So you can open the audiobook here. You can, when you do that, you can listen to it. Or if you decide you don't want it, you can return it on the Manage Loan button here. And then when you get there, you can hit the play button. You can start listening to this masterpiece. Or say you have your holds, you can go up here and check your holds. Remember, we put the Eye of the World on hold. We think 10 months might be too long, so we can go to Manage Holds here, and we can either suspend it until we think we have more of a chance of getting it, or cancel it. And that is everything. That's how you can get audiobooks. Again, Libby has a lot of great features. This is just one of them. If you have any questions, feel free to email the Randall Library at randalllibrary@gmail.com, or you can email me, kcostin@minlib.net. And if you want to come in and visit us or any other library in the Minuteman Network, we can answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
So, if there's enough people who would like to download this, we're not going to do that today. Like Kyle said, you can go to the library, but if we have a bunch of people who want to come here, he is more than willing to come here and help set that up. If you wanted to set that up, either on your phone, or I had him set it up on my Chromebook and my phone. So whatever you might need help with, he was more than willing to set up a day and for us to do that. So yeah.
Is that just for audio books or also for regular books?
No, that's for all books too.
All books.
Yeah, so so you can get the app either on Google Play if you're Android, or if you have iPhone, it's the Apple Store. So you just download that. And there's another thing. I did a presentation at the library a month ago. So if you go on to Stowe TV, YouTube, you don't have to watch the whole presentation, but this part of it has been recorded and it's on YouTube, on the Stowe TV site. They're fantastic at Randall Library. They're more than willing to help on that. You can bring your phone in, you can bring your laptop in, and they'll, right there, they'll download it. Like I said, it changed my life. I mean, I've known about it forever, but I was like, I can never get it to work right on whatever I was using. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, and of course these guys, they grew up with it. Within 5 minutes, it was all up and running and downloading books. I'm like, this is great. So, and again, I'm gonna, you know, if there's interest, I would even, he said he'd be more than willing to come here and show people here. Any other questions? You must have a question.
No, I'm good. Actually, I wanted to take a look at that book.
Oh, sure, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.